Good evening. We welcome you to the 17th annual Ecumenical Thanksgiving service. We begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you are at home or you are here in person, we ask you to rise and join all of us in the Pledge of Allegiance together. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We continue with Zoe and Alex from St. Catherine's and Unitarian Universalist Metro Atlanta North in America, the Beautiful.
Good evening. I'm Hal Schlanger from Temple Kol Emeth, and I serve as the chairperson of the celebration's awesome planning committee, whose names you'll see at the end of the celebrations program. With our theme, Building Hope Together, you can do your part by posting your thoughts on the chat or the live chat on this program. Please take a moment to find the chat or the live chat buttons, which should be on the right-hand side of your screen or visible by clicking on the three dots. This will be your personal opportunity tonight to build hope together. Yes, together. You will be at home, many of you are at home, or you may be at a small watch party. The reality is that there are a lot of people in a lot of different places. So your message in the chat is our way of showing that our community really is together.
We call forward Hariz Mansouri from the West Cobb Islamic Center to offer our call to prayer.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
On this 17th annual Thanksgiving Ecumenical Service, as the beautiful words, Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad, how beautiful, how pleasant it is that we all, brothers and sisters, we all can be together this evening. And even though together is somewhat a little hybrid, we're still here together in spirit. Our theme this year, Rebuilding Hope, is so appropriate. And it's interesting if we ask the question, how do we find hope in the midst of darkness and the challenges of our world? COVID, societal unrest, quarantine and isolation, and senseless hatred. So with my friend and colleague, Pastor Joe Evans, the senior pastor at the First Presbyterian Church of Marietta, we want to offer our opening reflection here. And as we were talking, we thought of, in essence, is this really the first time this world has been so challenged? And all of our faith traditions that are here tonight, no, it's certainly not the first time. So going back to the beginning, to the very beginning of creation, we read in Genesis 1:1, Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. God, in the beginning, created the heavens and the earth. And as it continues, what does God create on day one? God creates light. And God says, Vayor, Vayor, and let there be light. And there was light. And it's a beautiful moment because when we read about it, from God creating the heavens and the earth to the moment that light is created, in between it says that the world was tohu vavohu, was null and void, was chaos everywhere. And then God says, let there be light, and there is light. But we know that the light on the first day is not the same as the light on the fourth day. Because on the fourth day, God creates the sun, the moon, and the stars. So what is light on the first day? And many rabbinic commentaries say that was God's light. God's light, because God had to actually back up a little bit to make room for others, to allow human beings to come. But there's another little beautiful piece there that's important. While that is God's light, and God's light gives us hope that everything's going to be okay, an eternal hope that's deep within us, Pastor Evans, I would also say that anybody who's ever been to a magic show, when the rabbit is pulled out of the hat, what are the words that are said? Abracadabra. Or in the Hebrew, abarakadabra. I will create with my words. And as God creates, so can we. We can take that hope in our hearts, Pastor Evans, and we can use that to do good.
All right, Rabbi Larry, I hear what you're saying. As my friend Rabbi Larry was telling me all this just the other day, I said, Rabbi Larry, what'd you say about the creative power of words? and reflecting back to God speaking this word into existence and there being light. It brought me straight to the first chapter of the Gospel of John. This is my favorite chapter, possibly in the whole Bible, which begins this way. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. In our Protestant Christian tradition, this word refers to Jesus, and the Gospel of John then says of him in verse 5, in him was life, and the life was the light of all people. And then comes my favorite part of this opening passage, this opening chapter of John's Gospel. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not, we might add, will not, cannot overcome it. There has been considerable darkness in the last year. But Larry, tonight there's light. Let us remember together that in the shadow, there is always light.
So tonight, let there be light. So I would ask you all this evening as we gather to join us in the living room here at Kol Emeth as we begin this beautiful evening in our living room. Come with us, right this way.
Hey there.
It's so nice to be here with you, with both of you.
Absolutely. Same here.
And we all talk about how it's important to greet one another with our appropriate names. So, as we introduce ourselves, as we are the co-hosts this evening, Rabbi Larry Cernovitz,
Reverend Averill James.
Parvinder Singh Arora.
So as we gather, obviously our theme this evening is rebuilding hope. And for the two of you, what does that mean? What comes to mind from your own faith traditions about what rebuilding hope happens to be? Please.
I think this is it right now, this moment of understanding that there are infinite ways to experience ultimate reality and getting to see how other people experience and connect with ultimate reality.
Thank you.
Very rightly said. In the Sikh faith, there is a Gurbani quote which says, Sukh dukh dono samkar jane, which means happiness and sorrow is a part and parcel of life. You got to accept both with the same mental state of mind. And I think that is a particular quote which really instills hope in me. Accepting God's will and moving on.
So with that, with these beautiful opening reflections with my co-hosts, it's our honor this evening to introduce for our first reflection Reverend Deborah Bennett of the Emerson Unitarian Universalist Congregation, Reverend Dave Dunn of the Universalist Unitarian of Metro Atlanta North, and the Reverend Richard Burdick of Unity North Atlanta.
Awesome, thank you. Well, you know, parable and children hold a special place in all of our congregations, all of our faith communities. So I think it's wonderful today that we're going to start with a little tale. So please gather around, all you young and young at heart, as I tell you the tale of the village that hope built. Now, once upon a time, there was a small village on the top of a very large mountain, far away from any other village. In fact, this village was so far away that the villagers thought that they were the only people in the world. Now, it was hard going in this village, and the only structures were tiny little one-room brick homes that they lived in. And because the weather was very cold, the families rarely gathered outside their home. In fact, over time, as the families became more and more isolated, and they began to become more and more suspicious of each other's ways. "Why is the Ginsburg family lighting candles on a Friday night?" asked the Smiths. "Why are the Russells putting lights on that tree?" wondered the Macys. And that Norton family, they're always out there on the full moon dancing around a fire. "What's going on with them?" asked the Robs. And so it went, each family looking with judgmental eyes at the others, each staying in their own little brick homes. And then, one day, a stranger wandered into the village. From the little window in their homes, they peered out. Who is this person? And more importantly, whose was this person? Which family did he belong to? And what was he wearing? Well, these questions would not be answered quickly, for the stranger clearly was in no hurry to knock on any of the doors. And in fact, instead of approaching any of the homes, he went directly to the center of the village and he sat right down. He just sat there. He didn't pull out a pipe or a lunch pail or even his cell phone. Go figure. In fact, he seemed to have nothing with him at all. What a fool, thought most of the adults as they shook their heads and went back to their chores. But the children stayed with their noses pressed up against the window watching, and as the hours ticked by, some of the children began to whisper.
I wonder if he's hungry,
said one of the children to their brother. And so the two snuck into the pantry and got a little loaf of bread to take out to the stranger. And an artichoke? Sadly, there was no mayonnaise to go with the artichoke. But at the same time, some of the children in the Miller house thought the stranger looked cold, so they brought him a blankie. And in this way, slowly, every child in the village showed up bringing gifts to the stranger, toys and things, rubber duckies. At first, the children were weary of one another, but the stranger was in such good spirits and began telling stories and playing games, and soon they were all happy together. And soon they also forgot the suspicion that their parents had sown in them. As the sun began to sink, the children could hear their parents calling them, so one by one they left, until only the littlest, 5-year-old Bobby was left.
We can't leave you out here all alone. Oh, how I wish I could build you a home of your own. But unfortunately, our family doesn't have any extra bricks this year.
Well, I just need one small brick, one simple brick. That's all I need.
One brick? How in the world could one brick keep you warm?
You'll see, but be sure, when you bring a brick, make sure that brick is your best brick of hope.
Now, Bobby wasn't sure what a brick of hope was, but he went running back to the house anyway.
Mother, can I have our very best brick of hope?
Now, his mother thought this a very silly request, but since she was busy binge-watching the second season of Tiger King, she just said, well, go out in the pile outside and grab the little brick that's out there. So eagerly, Bobby got the brick and ran it out to the stranger in the center of the village.
Here you go.
Oh, this is perfect. This is perfect. This truly is a brick of hope.
Yes.
You come back tomorrow, okay? Go home, come back tomorrow, and you'll see what this special brick of hope has built.
So with a skip and a step, Bobby headed home, enjoyed the TV dinner his mother had made, and went to bed. And then the stranger did a curious thing. He stood up, and he began to clear a space on the ground. Not a small space big enough for a bed or even a medium space big enough for a little building, but a great big space big enough for a whole village. And after he cleared the space, he very carefully laid that one little brick down right in the corner. And then the stranger, he sat down and took a big bite out of that roll.
What is that silly man doing out there?
Mrs. Russell said that to her husband when she looked out the window. She shook her head, and then not knowing what came over her, she said,
Ralph, take that silly man some of our extra bricks.
And so he did. Now, seeing Mr. Russell take out a few bricks, Mr. Peters said to his wife, "What good are a few bricks? I'm going to take the stranger a pail full of bricks." And so he did. And then Mrs. Patel saw Mr. Peters, and she got an apron full of bricks and a thermos of tea and took those out. And as the night progressed, one by one, the villagers left their homes with first handfuls and then pailfuls and then barrelfuls of bricks. And instead of just dropping them off as their children slept, the adults stayed and began to lay the bricks side by side and row by row. At first they worked in silence, but gradually they began to tell stories and jokes and laugh out loud. And then finally, as the sun was starting to rise and the rooster began to crow, the villagers found themselves in the presence of one beautiful, big building. Slowly, the children woke and came out of their homes and gasped with delight. "Now we can all play together, even in the winter," said one little child, and everyone laughed in agreement. And as the villagers stood in awe of what they had built, little Bobby came out from inside the new structure.
But what happened to Mr. Hope? Where did he go?
"I saw him working on the south wall," said Noel. "I saw him working on the north wall," said Jillian. "He was helping me with the roof," said Jake.
Look.
And Bobby pointed to the corner of the building, and there beside that first small misshapen brick, he saw a little note. And he
Never, ever forget the great things that can be built with just one little brick of hope.
And the Ginsbergs went and gathered their candles, and the Russells got their tree, and the Nortons built a fire. And from that day forward, they all enjoyed the most wonderful winters together, thanks to that one small brick of hope. Yay! Back to you.
Well, my inner child thoroughly enjoyed that, so thank you so much. Before we introduce our next speaker, I just want to ask you, Parvinder, I know that in all these vast religious traditions, there's so much symbolism. What does your saffron-colored turban represent tonight?
So turban is a fashion statement. But tonight, mango lassi is on my mind. For as long as I can remember, the Sikh community has been very joyfully serving mango lassi here. But for the last 2 years, no delicacies, no mango lassi, no sugar. In fact, this is the second healthiest. I've lost a lot of weight. I really hope next year we are back in person to enjoy the mango lassi and all the other delicacies.
I'll be holding that deeply in my prayers.
Absolutely.
Wait, hold on. You're just going to leave it there.
No, I'm not. I have classes. You can enjoy it.
Yes.
And while we enjoy the mango lassi here, all our virtual participants, they can enjoy the cookies that are served to them by the internet browser.
So I would like to introduce our next presenter, our next special music, Jeff and Allison Harris of St. Catherine's Episcopal Church, presenting "Surely the Presence of the Lord is in this Place."
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel his mighty power and his grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. In the midst of his children, the Lord said he would be. It doesn't take very many, it can be just 2 or 3. And I feel that same sweet spirit that I've known so well before. Surely I can say I've been with the Lord. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel His mighty power and His grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. There's a holy hush around us as His glory fills this place. I've touched the hem of His garment. I can almost see His face, and my heart is overflowing with the fullness of His joy. I know without a doubt I've been with the Lord. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel His mighty power and His grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
So are we going to toast? Are we drinking? Absolutely. So for all at home, next year here, we'll all toast together. Yes. Would you like to lead us in the toast?
Sure.
Parvinder, please, lead us.
A very sweet and a short message of love, unity, and brotherhood to all of us. With the theme, let's rebuild hope together.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Chaim. Delicious. But Parvinder, I must say, it's a faith gathering, and our toasts should have meaning. And when we ask for things that may seem, I don't know, inappropriate, too much, then our prayers may be lost. And while we know that the Falcons are rebuilding hope, and while we know it's an 8:20 start time this evening, they continue to build hope and continue to build hope. But the difference is that it's the eagles that are actually mentioned in the Bible because the Israelites are freed on eagle's wings.
Okay. But you know the Braves won the World Series this time.
And that we can join in unity together. Go Braves. Go Atlanta.
Wait a second. The theme was rebuilding hope together. And someday Falcons will come back and win the Super Bowl. I'm very sure of that.
You don't seem very sure.
Why?
Just the way you said it. Was
Go
not very-
Falcons! Let's come back and win the Super Bowl.
Rebuild hope.
Rebuild hope.
Rebuild hope.
And
Amen.
Anybody beat the Patriots.
now.
And our second reflection,
So the
Parvinder,
second reflection, with that, let's introduce the second reflection for tonight. It's President James Watson of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and Imam Bashir of Masjid Al-Furqan, West Cobb Islamic Center. Thank you.
2 years ago, COVID-19 virus entered the world and fear took over. Almost overnight, we emptied the shelves of toilet paper, water, and Pop-Tarts. Schools shut down, companies locked their doors, and travel hit a stop sign. As weeks grew into months, the COVID virus would impact many of us through death of loved ones, illness, and isolation. Now, as the global COVID recovery continues to restore faith in the economy and in medical science, we are witnessing a new virus, a virus of doubt that is building in our families, neighbors, and friends. This virus of doubt may manifest itself in different scenarios, such as doubting your community, doubting your faith, or doubting your God. But it always results in greater sadness, despair, and depression, resulting in a withdrawal of trust, faith, and hope in your God, in your family, and in your neighbors. The question is then, what treatment can I take to recover or protect myself from this virus of doubt? God, the great physician of our souls, has provided a simple prescription to protect us from the virus and help us recover. He says, love God and love thy neighbor. Simply, take these two and call me in the morning. Here on this very night, we have 17 different religions represented, each with varying doctrinal bases. But what is common amongst all is a deep commitment to love God and love thy neighbor. As an ecumenical gathering of churches, mosques, synagogues, and temples, we strive to show by example, by word, and by deed that we can rebuild hope together. We can love God more by being more obedient and faithful in our worship. We can love our neighbors more as we remove barriers of racial, ethnic, and spiritual prejudice, seeking for the common in us all. My friends, we are in this journey together, all of us, a large collective people of faith. As we continue to recover from this pandemic, I pray for the rebuilding of hope and for protection against the virus of doubt. The best medicine for protection and recovery is to love God and love thy neighbor. Take these two and call me in the morning. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
I'll take the pill of loving God and loving thy neighbor and share with us from the Quran after saying to you the greeting of peace, Salaam alaikum, peace be with you. The Quran tells us, and when your Lord said to the angels, behold, I am placing a successor upon the earth, they said, will you, O Lord, place therein man who will work corruption therein and shed blood, while we hymn praises to thy holy glory? He said, truly I know that which you know not. Quran chapter 2, verse 30. In a world adrift, with human-authored disaster and sufferings of poverty and hunger around the world, violence and fear in our cities, systemic and institutionalized disempowerment of minority communities, radical racism and violent xenophobia in this country and other parts of the world, the angels would indeed seem to have been correct in their assessment of the human impact on the world. But even in the face of such gloom and doom, there is yet beauty and compassion every minute and every second in the world, as we are once again reminded with the divine words, nay, I swear by this land, while thou art free in this land, and I swear by the parent and the offspring, verily we created man into a life of pain, toil, and trial. Does he then suppose that none has power over him? He boasts, I have spent wealth abundant. Does he suppose that no one sees him? Have we not given him 2 eyes, and a tongue and a pair of lips, and shown him the 2 highways from which to choose? Yet he fails to ascend the steep uphill path. And what will make thee conceive of the steep uphill path? It is the freeing of people from bondage. It is the feeding of the hungry at the time of hunger, the orphan or near even of kin, or the feeding of a needy stranger lying in the dust by the roadside, while being among people who have attained to faith, who exhort upon one another perseverance in adversity. And we have seen much adversity these past 2 years. And exhort one another to acts of compassion. The Quran, chapter 90, verse 1 to 17. So we come together as peoples of faiths in diversity, united around a noble collective duty and commitment, exhorting one another to rebuilding together hope that begets hope, that begets hope, that begets hope. Thank you.
The sweet taste of hope, together, sharing this beautiful moment. It tastes a lot like mango lassi, doesn't it? Absolutely.
And all the planning that took place has been remarkable. And the three of us coming together and thinking about this evening, you know, Avra, I have a question for you. Because you had said that you were going to wear a dress with sequins this evening.
I know, but you know, when I was thinking about the mics, I was needing pockets.
Well, you know what? I will sport it for all of us because I was prepared with my sequins.
Yes.
My 9-year-old daughter lent me this, so I'm going to wear this for all of us this evening.
Yes, for the inner child.
The inner child, the sparks of hope and beauty together.
Well, I think that's a perfect transition to our next group. And we have our youth message tonight. We have Lainey Weissman from Temple Kol Emeth. We have Adrian Thies from Emerson Unitarian Universalist Congregation. We have Divjot Kaur from Siwa. We have Mercedes Watson from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We have Ella Chesney from the First Presbyterian Church of Marietta, Reba Phelan from Chestnut Ridge Christian Church, and Maddie Zimmerman from St. Catherine's Episcopal Church.
Hope is having faith in something.
Hope is expecting a better future.
Hope is believing that our communities can spread kindness, compassion, and peace.
Hope is the feeling that if your present situation is not the best, there is always a better tomorrow.
Hope is the belief that the future is bright and the bad days will not last forever.
Hope is believing that it can get better.
Hope is trying to keep an optimistic outlook on life. People always have good in their heart.
Hope is a driving force in our lives and keeps us going in order to find the outcome to everything.
Hope is something that keeps me going even when I feel like giving up. It's that light at the end of a tunnel.
Hope is a wish, but instead of a belief in the magical, it is a belief in God to make things better.
Hope helps drive me forward.
The Seva Gurdwara spreads hope through service towards the needy and encouraging and helping others. Seva spreads hope by preserving the belief that things can always get better. We focus on trust and faith.
The UU community spreads hope by accepting everyone and creating listening circles and meetings, making a safe space for support and open ears.
The Church of Jesus Christ spreads the hope that families will reunite after death, that we have lived a purposeful and value-filled life.
First Presbyterian Church spreads hope for salvation through grace and following Christ's path to help others.
Together, we will reach out to people that we know are struggling and provide them with reassurance. Together, we will spread awareness about mental health and spread positivity in order to put a smile on as many faces as possible.
Together, we will surround ourselves with people who bring peace and positivity no matter the situation. Together, we will have the hard discussions to build connections and relationships. Together, we will educate people.
Together, we will keep our own little bits of hope.
Together, we will strengthen the bonds of our current relationships. Together, we will expand our circles to include those who are different from us.
We are hopeful our community will draw its circle wider and include more people into its scope of concern. We are hopeful that we will become reliable allies to those in need.
We are hopeful that we will make new friendships with one another and learn from each other. We are hopeful that we will see through differences and accept each other.
We are hopeful that our communities will reach out to those who need our love.
I am inspired by our community's push to change policy and promote safe social environments in our schools after the recent anti-Semitic events.
I am inspired by our community's homeless seva, or service, an integral part of Sikhism that believes in giving back to society.
I am inspired by the members of Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints who do food drives as well as help with donations through the House of Hope, an organization that helps people who cannot afford clothes and food.
I'm inspired by the widespread desire our community has to run programs like the school system's food bank every week, and the Salvation Army's Angel Tree, sponsoring a child by buying an outfit and a couple of toys for the holidays.
For those struggling to believe, live your religion's values. Be kind to others, reach a hand out to those in need, and be there as a listening ear for others.
For those struggling to believe, show your love. When we spread our love to each other, it gives some of the hope that we have to others.
For those struggling to believe, we understand the pain of unmet expectations. Be a helping hand.
Hope is woven into daily motivation and happiness.
Hope is the reason many of us stay alive. It fuels us and drives us onwards.
Hope is what has guided us through history.
Hope is what brings us together today.
Hope is the rainbow after the storm.
Hope is important because it helps us see beyond our circumstances, especially on days that are really difficult. Hope's currency is imagination. It gives us the freedom to imagine a better way in the future.
Let's rebuild hope together.
Awesome. This is really, really good. You know, I actually wanted to be a part of it myself. Hal told me I'm not eligible.
Why?
Because I'm too young. I'm going to try next year. I'll be a year older then. But on a serious note, awesome job by the youth. I would really request all the virtual attendees, all the participants, to please give your kudos and appreciation to the youth and to all the reflections by giving your comments in the YouTube link, right? It's important.
Absolutely.
All right.
Hal's comment actually in the link was that he's been a member of the youth group for years. He didn't extend membership to you?
No, I'm going to talk to you after the service.
You should talk to Allison.
Yes.
She has more pull.
That's it. Allison, you're my friend. I'll get more mango lassi. Let's introduce the third reflection. Amjad Tafiq of Masjid Al Furqan, West Cobb Islamic Center, and Reverend Sarah Fisher of St. Catherine's Episcopal Church.
Amjad, it was so good to have coffee with you the other day and talk about places where we're different, but places where we are completely the same in our faith beliefs. There's a hymn in our tradition that says, "All my hope on God is founded," and I think there is a universality of that hope is founded on God. We remember that tonight. As I was thinking about this night, I thought about two specific things in my faith tradition. One has already been hit upon, and it's that idea of loving our neighbor as ourselves. Jesus teaches us that is such an important commandment, that to love God, you love your neighbor. And I think about all the ways that we try to love our neighbors. Each one of those is a radical act of hope when we're brave enough to love our neighbors. In my tradition as well, there is the Episcopal tradition, when we are baptized into our faith, we take promises. And one of the most essential promises that we take is to strive for justice and peace for all people, not just for people who are like us, not for people who are the same as us, but for all people, people we like, people we don't like, people we struggle to be with. All people are to be respected, and dignity is to be shown to all of them. Those are some of the ways that I see hope embodied in my faith tradition, and ways that I think join us, large and small. What are some of the ways that you experience hope?
So it was really a pleasure having coffee with you the other morning. And, you know, hope is something that in the tradition of sayings of the prophet that comes, God Almighty reminded the whole humanity through our prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the rights of the neighbors. And when the prophet described the rights of the neighbors being, your neighborhood being 40 houses to the right, 40 houses to the left, 40 houses to the front of you, and 40 houses to the back, there was never a mention saying that neighbor who is a Muslim, neighbor who of your own faith. It mentioned neighbor. And that was the most important thing. And the God reminded us through Quran and the sayings of the Prophet, peace be upon him, that how important it is to reach out to all of those who are in need of your help, to help those, even those who may hate you, not to stop at that point if you feel that they may not appreciate what you're going to do for them, but if they are in need, to reach out to them. And it reminded me of a very story of a prophet, peace be upon him, at the time when he was not accepted in the community, and he would be walking out every single day. A neighbor of his, she would throw garbage on his pathway. So one day he comes out and he does not see any trash out there. He kind of got a little concerned, continued on. Second day, he did not see any trash out there. So he went looking to find whatever happened to that lady who was doing this every day. He went and found out that she was sick. And he offered the help. What can I do to help you in this your time of need? That is what I believe in. That is what the Muslims believe in. And I know for sure all of my faith friends over here of different faiths, you all believe in the same things. We reach out to our neighbor as we reach out to anybody else, whether they be of our faith or any faith or no faith. We reach out to them.
I'm glad we're neighbors.
Yes, thank you.
Can we hold hands? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Won't you be mine? Won't you be mine? It may
That's
sound.
my first spiritual teacher. I'm sorry, Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers.
Teaches us that everybody belongs in the neighborhood. And we welcome people when they move in and they become part of our extended family. And, you know, it's interesting talking about love, and that love actually is mentioned, is the number one commandment. It's mentioned 36 times in the Hebrew Bible, more than any other commandment, because obviously some people forget how to love their neighbors. And there's a beautiful piece, a teaching from the Psalms, that begins with the words Olam Chesed Yibaneh, that we build the world with love. And there's a beautiful piece, a colleague of mine, Rabbi Menachem Kreder, after 9/11 happened, he took those words and he wrote a beautiful song about when tragedy happens, what do we do? What's our response? Some people close up, and other people, they build the world with love. And I think that's what we're doing tonight.
Absolutely.
And what we must continue to do in our neighborhood, in our state, in our country, and in our world. So, I think it's possible.
We're the bricks of hope.
Ooh.
We are the bricks.
The bricks have come back. Thank you for the bricks of hope as we think about the bricks of hope and love as we join Kira Goldman from Temple Kol Emeth presenting these beautiful words from the book of Psalms. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Let us build the world with love. If you're so moved, feel free to join, because the only Hebrew words are Olam Chesed Yibaneh. We build the world with love.
La 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 la. I will build this world from love. Ya la 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 la. Olam chesed yibaneh. Ya la 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 la. Olam chesed yibaneh. Ya la 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 la. Olam chesed yibaneh. Ya la 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 la. I will build this world from love. Ya la 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 la. And you must build this world from love. Ya la 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 la. And if we build this world from love, ya la 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 la, then God will build this world from love. Ya la 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 la. Olam chesed yibaneh. Ya la 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 la. Olam chesed yibaneh. Ya la 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 la. Olam chesed yibaneh. Ya la 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 la. Olam chesed yibaneh. Ya la 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 la.
Gabriel Parvinder, I love you.
Absolutely. Love you too.
Love you. And I had a wonderful mentor in New Jersey, Pastor Hayward Wiggins, who would always, whenever he would address a crowd, he would always begin by the words, I love you. Some people would look at him a little strange, right? If you walk down the street, right, and just started saying, I love you, I'm not sure what would happen. I'm not sure we would make it to the end of the block. Would you try it? What do you think? Yeah? You'd make it at the end of the block.
You know, I think maybe we need to try some radical things like that.
Yes.
So when we leave here for the next day, for the next week, say hi, say I love you to people and see what happens. And if you need our help, just give us a call.
And I think the most important thing that when we talk about hope is the fact that yes, we go out there, we actually share with the community, but the single most thing is within our friend circle, the most important thing that we can do is listen, lend an ear. We don't know what they're going through. Yeah. That itself brings hope.
I'm listening. It's time for our fourth reflection, which actually gives us the opportunity to listen and meditate. And it's our honor to call forward Priti Bhatt of the Art of Living Center presenting a meditation for all of us.
Thank you, Rabbi. So in the spirit of rebuilding hope in our families, in our communities, in the world, let us turn inwards for a few minutes of silence to listen to that source of strength, peace, resilience that's right here inside of us so that we can come out sharper, clearer, and more committed to rebuilding hopes all around us. Yeah? So let's close our eyes. And we'll sit easily, comfortably. These next few minutes, we have absolutely nothing to do. Let's just relax, drop ourselves completely on the chair, couch,
floor, wherever you're seated. Let's take a deep breath in. And let it go and relax, relax. Drop everything that you feel you're doing or have to do right this moment and just relax. Relax your face with a smile. Relax your shoulders, your chest and stomach. Relax your legs, your knees, the feet. Relax your whole body. Breathe in with a smile. And breathe out with a smile. Become aware of your own environment. The people, the sounds, the traffic, whatever it be. Just accept them. Take them into your heart. And relax. However, whatever is right this moment, let it be. Once again, let us take a breath in and let it go. With each exhalation, relax even more. Inhale hope. Let go, exhale doubt, uncertainty, anxiety. Become aware of your own body. This body is such a precious gift to us by nature, by God. Let us honor our own body. Taking our awareness to our feet, the legs, moving up to the thighs and hips, abdomen and stomach, your chest, moving up to the throat, the face and the head. Move your awareness through your whole body to this beautiful instrument of God, of nature. Once again, let us take a breath in and breathe out and relax. Drop all the worries, the uncertainties, let them just drop off. Become aware of your thoughts. There may be good thoughts, there may be not so good thoughts. Do not resist them. Accept and embrace your own thoughts, however they may be. Now you're in harmony with your own thoughts. Once again, let us take a breath in and breathe out. Relax. Become aware of your feelings, your emotions, pleasant, unpleasant, however they may be. Just accept your own feelings. You are peace, you are joy. Hope is right here within you. Become aware of your feelings. Become aware of your thoughts. Become aware of any sensations you experience in the body. Become aware of your environment. Once again, let us take a breath of hope in and breathe out. Slowly, gradually, with love, gratitude, and the spirit of brotherhood in our hearts, we may gently open our eyes.
Namaste, Priti. Thank you so much. You know, we were just talking about becoming better listeners, and meditation is the act of listening to what's inside, and often receiving that deep connection to the ultimate reality that we were just discussing.
Asleep. I need a cup of coffee now. No mango lassi.
No mango lassi.
You did fall asleep.
I did. Because I was listening.
Deeply inside.
Yes.
Deeply.
I was paying attention, Rabbi. That's the important thing.
It is my great honor to introduce our interfaith success story speaker, Kim Scofie of United Military Care. Kim is the founder and president of United Military Care, which is a Georgia nonprofit that helps veterans live their best life as they define them. Having spent the past 20 years serving as a nonprofit executive focused on the military, Kim founded United Military Care in 2012 to ensure veterans of all ages receive the support, supplies, and encouragement they need to tackle any of life's difficulties following military service. In 2018, Kim received the highest honor of our country bestows upon civilians, the Congressional Medal of Honor for Civilians, recognizing her commitment and service to veterans over her 20-year career. Kim is from a long line of military service and is the proud daughter of an Air Force veteran and daughter-in-law of an Army Ranger Vietnam veteran. Kim attended Kennesaw State University and Northwestern University studying law and paralegal studies and nonprofit management. She was named an honorary Rosebud by the National Rosie the Riveters Association in 2008 for her can-do attitude and beliefs of anyone has the ability and responsibility to help others. Kim and her husband, Tony, reside here in East Cobb and are the proud parents of one son. Kim is the Sergeant at Arms for the American Legion Post 29 Ladies Auxiliary and is active within her church and volunteers with several different organizations in the community. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Reverend. It's a pleasure to be here. I also do windows. I don't cook very good. My husband would attest to that. But something that's very important to me tonight, I'm sure you all have heard that if you're ever put in front of a group to speak or perform, you never want to follow children or animals. Well, you don't ever want to follow dancing rabbis and singing imams either. I just go ahead and put that down. And a beautiful meditation that made my spine feel like butter. So I'm here tonight to talk to you about our country. One of the most poignant things that happened this evening for me is the fact that 17 different faith groups stood here and together recited the Pledge of Allegiance. Ladies and gentlemen, we are one country. We are one people. And we're all responsible for helping each other. I have chosen to be part of a group, United Military Care, that helps our veterans of all walks of life, all ages. They are not screened when they come in to determine, are they Christian, are they Jewish, are they Muslim? Only if they served our country. That's the only qualifier to receive help. And should we not also apply that to our own daily lives, that there are no qualifying credentials? When we reach out to our neighbors, when we reach out to those in need, do we need to really ask that there's a qualifier, that a person is of the same color or the same ethnicity, of the same faith background? We don't need to ask those questions. We only need to look within ourselves, utilize our hope and our faith that we have, and help each other. United Military Care serves veterans all over the state of Georgia with a myriad of issues. We have been a benefactor of the Give a Gobble program, being able to feed our veterans, men and women who have served our country, who wonder where their next meal is coming from or how they'll feed their children. In my faith, I am told that we should have a servant heart, and I feel very at home here. Rabbi Larry, thank you, and to everyone at Temple Kol Emeth for the invitation and for welcoming me. I feel very comfortable because everyone here and everyone watching at home has a servant heart. And if you question whether or not you have a servant heart, I have a really easy test for you. Take your 2 fingers on your right hand, raise your left wrist, take your 2 fingers and apply them just under the palm of your hand. Give it just a second. If you feel a pulse, you have a servant heart. If you don't, hang up, call 911 right now. If you feel a pulse, you're like all of the representatives that are here tonight. Give your best, give your all. Trust me, it comes back more than you'll ever know. Thank you for everything that you've done to help our veterans and for allowing us to be here tonight. God bless you all.
Serve selflessly and serve with humility. Great message. Thank you so much. Give a Gobble is presented as a part of Ecumenical Celebration, and this year's featured organization is United Military Care. Now, this ecumenical service is spiritually fulfilling, inspiring, humorous, and music-filled, but we all come together as one loving family to collect some funds to purchase turkeys and Thanksgiving dinners for our neighbors in need. And like you said, no questions asked. If it's in need, they are in need. The Give a Gobble program actually grew out of a grassroots effort to help impoverished families in the Cabbagetown neighborhood and the Oakland Food Bank in downtown Atlanta. It has been 2 decades since Give a Gobble was born. That's pretty awesome. And today, the need for support in many of our communities exists far beyond just the small Cabbagetown neighborhood. Over the years, Give a Gobble has provided support to the Center for Family Resources, Families First, Family Promise, Food to Kids, Genesis Shelter, Helping Hand Foundation, and many other organizations. This year, we are thrilled to have Kim Scofie, President and CEO of United Military Care, as our featured speaker, interfaith speaker at Ecumenical Thanksgiving Celebration. It's been an honor and a privilege for Give a Gobble to contribute to United Military Care's Thanksgiving efforts, helping veterans over the years. I would request all of you to please go ahead and donate on the website kolemeth.net/gobble. Once again, the website is kolemeth.net/gobble. And while you do that, let's introduce Gurinder Singh Negi and Paramjeet Singh Gulshan from Sikh Education Welfare Association, Seva Gurdwara Sahib, who are going to present 2 sacred hymns on guitar and on tabla. So the sacred hymns that we have tonight is Tori na Tute, Chori na Chute, and the other one is Kar Kirpa, Tere Gun Gawa. Gurinder Singh Negi is on guitar, and Paramjeet Singh Gulshan is on tabla, the percussion.
wow. The beat, the rhythm, just makes us feel even more motivated and inspired to give. So if you haven't given yet, kolemeth.net, please sign on, make a donation. It doesn't matter as long as you give from the heart. You can make a difference as a community, as one united community this evening. Parvinder, Averill, I'm sitting here and there's been so much this evening. There's been so much besides the yellow, not yellow?
Saffron.
Saffron. Besides the saffron. But, and, right, the wonderful drink, which in another year you'll all be able to partake in.
Yeah, this marks the resurrection of mango lassi.
Absolutely. To Lassi.
L'chaim. To life. So with that, I think that we've all been so inspired by so many, 17 congregations. What an achievement. It lets the world know that we can do this. That no matter how dark the days may seem, that we can do this. So as we come to our final reflection with the three of us, before our final musical number and our closing, what's the takeaway this evening? I have so much, but I think there's so many themes that just simply unify together. Parvinder, what do you think?
I do want to share 2 haikus that actually I came across the other day. And the first one is, rebuilding hope together, because specters of the past do not govern the futures lest we grant consent. Rebuilding hope together, because if we are lost in the shadows, we miss the chance to run through the happy light. That's all. That's all from me.
I didn't bring a haiku. Thank you for making us both look bad. We appreciate it.
No, this is me.
No, you know what? I think that's beautiful because I think, Parvinder, a lot of times we get mired in the weeds. And we forget that in the midst of it all, there's such good that surrounds us. And the only way that we can do that, as you said, is to get past the past.
Yes.
That the past is behind us. And if we use this moment as the beginning of a new day, where the light will shine, and always we know that, after the night, the sun will always come out.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
with that light in that moment, I think that I agree with you. This is a moment for all of us. We have an opportunity to then rise together as one. And with everything, I think there was a message in it all of silence. Just pausing. Taking a moment to take a breath. And know that next step, we step together as one united community. Averill, what do you think?
My hope cup is filled. If you allow yourself to get caught into the mundane, you're on whatever social media platform, you're looking at the news, you're just in the grind, you can forget that there's this many people. We're right here. We're here all the time. We're not missing. And it's up to us to make this effort to stay connected like this. This is once a year, but what are we going to do to keep our hope cup filled in the 364 days in between?
It's a constant battle. And I do want to say one thing for all the virtual participants. I am, for sure, everybody here is missing you guys. This used to be full.
Into the other room.
Yes, to all the way on that room, right? And I literally used to see, oh my God, this year it looks like 500. Next year, oh my God, it's 6. My God, you've got to put more chairs now. It's 1,000 people here. And I am definitely missing you guys. So really, really hope next year we all here in person with this entire 2 rooms filled.
That is the hope.
That's the hope.
That is the hope. But you're right. Averill, you said the right piece, which is that what are we going to do between this Thanksgiving and the next?
Drink mango lassi.
We're already making our lunch plans. You need to make lunch plans with each other and start with that.
Parvinder will be delivering. Type in the chat room if you'd like the weekly, the monthly, or every 6 months.
Yes.
Right. But,
Happy to.
But I think that this is a call to action tonight. It's a call to action that if we're sitting on the sidelines, nothing will get done. So if you're virtual, if you're in person, think about every day, every week, what you're doing to help bring hope, not just to yourself, but to others. It's little acts every single day. The I love you. Wherever you go, it's opening doors. It's making sure the door always opens for everyone around us. So that's the challenge. That's the goal as we come to a conclusion tonight. As we introduce the Unity North Atlanta Band, presenting Celebration by Kool and the Gang. I mean, is there any better song, to end on? Because if you're inspired, give a gobble. KolEmeth.net. Get out here, make a difference in your community, find something to do. And by the way, kickoff already happened, Parvinder.
Oh.
We're rebuilding hope at the moment.
Exactly.
So with that, Ryan Almario on the keyboards, the director, Michael Wheeler on drums, Greg Armijo on bass, Will Hodge on guitar, and Mike Marinelli on sax.
Go Falcons.
Celebration, Kool and the Gang, Unity North, Atlanta Band.
Well, I think we've just had such an amazing, amazing time together. And we would like to close with our video, Have I Done Any Good, with the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square.
And as we prepare, please know kolemeth.net, give a gobble, make a donation, make a difference. And all clergy who are here this evening, please remain here for a collective photo, a commemorative photo of the evening.
kolemeth.net/gobble.